Of all the instruments created all across music history, there may be no other that retains its sense of mystery and intrigue more than the theremin. Being unique both due to its sound as well as the fact that it has no controls you can actually touch to play it, most people are unaware that it was actually invented by Leon Theremin in 1920. Originally designed as an entry into a research contest sponsored by the Russian government in 1920, the device was intended as part of research into proximity sensors. Theremin took his invention on a tour of the world, and in 1928 he patented it in the United States, quickly reaching a deal with RCA for commercial production. Over the next decade, the device would quickly become a bit of a novelty, and while sales of it were never really that great, performers like Clara Rockmore and Lucy Bigelow Rosen toured the country playing the theremin. Oddly, in 1938, Leon Theremin suddenly left the United States, and while many people like to believe that the KGB came in and escorted him out, a recently released biography suggests that he was actually leaving the country due to overwhelming debt. Regardless of why he did it though, he would not return for nearly 50 years. In the 1950s, there was a resurgence in theremin playing, mostly due to the fact that suddenly there were build-it-yourself kits being created by none other than Robert Moog. On the technical side, a theremin is basically made up of two antenna-like capacitors, and the pitch and volume are dictated by the presence and proximity of two hands. In most cases, the player's right hand controls the pitch while the left controls the volume, and these seemingly magical movements continue to amaze audiences to this day. At its core, the theremin operates on what's called the heterodyne principle, and this principle was introduced to the world in about 1901 by a Canadian engineer. Truth be told, while the theremin is a very simple instrument to learn, it's nearly impossible to master due to the lack of frets or keys or any other sort of reliable sound control, and players really need to simply depend on muscle memory to achieve the same tone time after time. In modern times, some performers have taken to actually touching the instrument itself to gain greater pitch control, though this practice is largely frowned upon by traditional theremin players. While you can find the theremin across almost every single genre of music, some of the most popular were done by Led Zeppelin at their live performances, the Rolling Stones across a number of different studio albums, as well as the music of the legendary Lydia Kavina. Many people wrongly believe that there's a theremin being played on the Beach Boys' classic song Good Vibrations. What you're actually hearing is an instrument called a tannerin, which is basically a theremin with a physical control system. Approaching the 100th anniversary of its invention, there's no question that among all the instruments ever created in history, none provide the outright fascination than the sound and appearance of the theremin.